Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel or welcome to our channel if this is your first time here. If you've been finding the information and content here useful, please just hit the subscribe and like buttons below so you can get more content coming from us. My name is George, this is Vince, we're real estate agents here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that's important whether you're a first-time home buyer, investor, or even just making a move from a property, and that's down payments.
That's right. Today we're diving into everything you need to know about down payments in the Kitchener-Waterloo real estate market, and we're going to cover some government programs as well as saving strategies for you.
So in this video, what you will learn is the essentials of down payments and what the minimum down payments are, CMHC mortgage insurance and what it is, first-time home buyer incentives, and then at the end, we'll give you some bonus saving strategies to help you save up for that first down payment.
First up is understanding minimum down payments in Kitchener-Waterloo. So let's get started. So in KW, like many parts of Canada, when you're purchasing a home, you have to make a down payment. This down payment forms the first part of your purchase price. So how much do you need to put down? Well, most people think that in Canada, you have to put at least 20% down in order to purchase the property, but actually it depends on the purchase price of that property. So the government has some minimum standards that you have to meet depending on that price. For properties priced at $500,000 or less, you need to put down at least 5% of that price. So let's look at an example. At a $400,000 purchase price, 5% of that would be $20,000. So that would be your minimum down payment. Now, if the property you're eyeing is over $500,000, then the requirements change slightly. In this scenario, you'll need 5% for the first $500,000 and then 10% for the remainder amount. So if the property we're looking at is, let's say, $700,000, then we would need 5% on the first $500,000, that equals $25,000, and then we would need another 10% on the remaining $200,000, which amounts to $20,000. So if we put that together, $25,000 plus the $20,000, that gives us $45,000 as a minimum down payment. One important note is that this rule changes again once we hit the $1 million threshold. So as soon as a property is $1 million or more, then your minimum down payment is 20% of the overall purchase price. So if we're looking at a property that's, let's say, 1.1 million, then we would look at 20% of 1.1, and that would be $220,000 as your minimum down payment. Also to note, if you're purchasing an investment property, then no matter the purchase price, your minimum down payment will be 20%. And furthermore, if you're looking at a student investment property, some lenders will want you to put down as much as 35% towards that purchase price. A common myth is that only first-time homebuyers can put down less than 20%, but that's false. You don't have to be a first-time homebuyer to be eligible for a smaller down payment. Before finalizing your budget, you want to consider any other costs that are associated with buying a home. This includes closing costs, land transfer taxes, and perhaps home inspection fees. Check out our upcoming video for an in-depth breakdown on these costs.
So to quickly recap on minimum down payments, up to $500,000, you only need 5%. Over $500,000, we're under $1 million, it's 5% for the first $500,000 and 10% for the amount above. Once you pass the $1 million mark, well, then in that case, you're gonna have to do 20% down. Or if you're buying an investment property, it's 20% down no matter what. Now, there is a caveat to all of this. If you are doing less than 20% down for your down payment, you will be required to get mortgage insurance. And typically this is through CMHC, the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation. Now, this rule is in place to protect the lender in case you default on your mortgage, but it does have some benefits for you as well because it allows you to purchase a home sooner and start building equity, which does make homeownership more accessible to the average person. The amount of insurance premium that you pay will depend on how much you're doing for a down payment, and it ranges from anywhere of 0.6% of the mortgage amount to 4.5% of the mortgage amount. The more you put down, the lower your premium is. Now, don't worry, you don't have to come up with this money out of pocket. It actually gets rolled into your mortgage payments, and really, it barely makes a difference on your monthly payments and allows you to get into home ownership. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I add mortgage insurance to my mortgage? Well, you don't have to worry about that. It gets automatically done by your mortgage broker and your lender during your approval process. There is one more bonus to getting mortgage insurance, and that's the fact that typically if you have mortgage insurance, you'll actually qualify for lower monthly rates on your interest payments. So in a way, the payments kind of cancel themselves out because you get the lower rate.
Now let's explore the first-time homebuyer incentives and how they work. So the Waterloo region has a lot of programs in place specifically designed to help first-time homebuyers enter into a property. One of the main incentives is the first-time homebuyer tax credit. The federal government allows eligible individuals to claim a tax credit of up to $1,500 to help offset the costs associated with buying a property.
$1,500 is quite a bit of money for a homeowner, especially in that first year.
Absolutely. In addition to that, first-time homebuyers in Ontario, including the Waterloo region, can qualify for a tax rebate on their land transfer tax of up to $4,000.
And this rebate happens right away, so you don't really have to apply for it. It just gets deducted from the amount that you're going to be paying on your land transfer tax, so you get the benefits right away.
That's right, and that can have a significant impact on saving on those closing costs. Another valuable resource is the Home Buyers Plan, which allows buyers to withdraw up to $35,000 from their RRSP account without incurring taxes on that amount. Also, the First Home Savings Account, which is an account designed to help people save for their first purchase, and it offers tax advantages to make it easier.
So now let's break down these incentives. First of all, who qualifies as a first-time home buyer? Believe it or not, it doesn't have to be your first property that you're purchasing. You just can't have owned a property in the last 4 years, and you have to intend to occupy the residence as your principal residence within the first year of purchase. So for investment properties, they don't qualify as first-time home buyers. For the home buyers plan, where you're withdrawing funds from your RRSP, what you have to do is submit a form called T1036 to whoever has your RRSP. That's going to issue you your funds, and then you have to use those funds towards your purchase within 30 days of withdrawing them so that you can actually qualify for not having to pay the taxes. Now, the First Home Savings Plan, this is a new one in Ontario, but it definitely has a lot of benefits. So you can contribute up to $8,000 to this plan per year. And the way it works, it's like an RRSP and a TFSA at the same time. So when you contribute money to it, the contributions get deducted from your income, so you have tax savings there, and then all the money that you earn in the plan through the investments is actually tax-free. And when you take the money out to purchase a home, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. So you're doing a lot of savings through the taxes, and up to $8,000 per year on that account to a maximum of $40,000. So between you and your partner, that could be up to $80,000 tax-free savings. You get tax deductions to help you with the down payment. It's an awesome plan, and it's going to help a lot of people get into their first homes.
Now that we've covered the basics of understanding the down payments in Kitchener-Waterloo, let's break down some practical steps that will help you get towards actually saving up for this crucial initial payment. Here's some of our top tips.
So number one, as with all goal settings, you do have to know what your goal is. So whether you're saving 5%, whether you're saving 20%, figure out the price point at which you want to purchase the property, figure out the amount that you need to save up to, and then keep track of it. Create an Excel sheet, or maybe make it really fun and have a visual representation where you're filling it up every time that you add a little bit to the savings account, you color it in, and that way you can make it a fun challenge to get to your goal.
Next, budget wisely. It's all about knowing where your money goes. So pinpoint some areas where you can cut back on, and remember, every dollar counts.
Now, in addition to your first-time homebuyer savings account, consider also opening up a TFSA, which is going to help you towards your savings. And if you don't already have an RRSP, start contributing to that as well and maximize all of your tax savings.
Reducing any high interest debt that you have can also be a very important step. Not only does it free up some money for you, but it also improves your credit, which makes you a lot more attractable to lenders that are looking at your credit score.
The next tip is cutting out non-essential spending. So take a look at your bank accounts. Are there subscriptions to things that you don't even use? Like I know I have a bunch that I can cut out every single month. And then take that amount that you're paying to those subscriptions and just add it to your savings account every month. So just be really prudent with your budget, cut out the non-essential spending, and maybe eat in a little bit more to help with those savings.
And when it comes to windfalls, like tax refunds and bonuses, save them. I know it can be tempted to splurge, but remember your ultimate goal.
And lastly, keeping track of your progress is crucial. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So make sure you're checking in and keeping track of how you're doing with your goal. And that's where having that visual reminder will be a huge help. So that wraps it all up. Today, we've busted a few myths and then given you some great tips on how to save for your first properties. So contrary to popular belief, you don't need 20% to purchase a principal residence. Now, whether you're looking to relocate to Kitchener-Waterloo or you already live here and you're looking to purchase a property, buying something without 20% down is a very achievable goal. It makes it a lot easier to save up to that amount when you're talking about saving to $45,000 instead of something like $150,000. So if you do have any questions or you're curious about exploring options in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, please feel free to reach out to us. Our information is in the video below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.